You know, from the lost city of Atlantis to the crazy cool megacities you see in science fiction, we've always been obsessed with the idea of a perfect city. We've spent centuries looking for it in the past, and now we're trying to build it for the future. But where does this idea of a truly great civilization even come from? Is it something we dig out of the ground, or something we dream up? That's what we're going to get into today. This quote from archaeological researcher R. Balakrishnan it nails it. It gets right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? It perfectly frames this constant battle between what we can actually prove with hard evidence and the really powerful stories we tell ourselves about who we are and where we came from. And that really is the core question, isn't it? Is the perfect city something we excavate from the dirt, or is it something we build in our minds? This is the journey we're going on today, from ancient legends all the way to futuristic blueprints. Okay, so our first stop is going to take us way back, deep into the past, into the search for a lost world. And we're going to start with one of mythology's most fascinating and complex figures, the legendary King of Lanka. Now, in the epic story of the Ramayana, you probably know Ravana as the 10-headed villain. But hold on, there's way more to his story. He's also described as this brilliant scholar who wrote over a dozen books, a master of the arts and sciences, and a die-hard follower of Lord Shiva. His 10 heads, they're supposed to symbolize his complete mastery over an incredible 64 different fields of knowledge. So yeah, he's a figure of immense power, but also immense complexity. So the big question is, have we found any real proof of this legendary king? Well, archaeologists have definitely looked. Take the Ravana Cave, for instance. Legend says that's where he hid the Princess Sita. And sure enough, digs there have found signs of human life. But it's from 25,000 years ago, way before the Ramayana was supposedly written. Okay, what about the incredible Sigiriya Fortress, which some people claim was his palace? Well, we now know it was actually built by King Kasyapa, much later in the 5th century. So the bottom line is, while these places are ancient and super important, there's just no direct archaeological smoking gun that connects them to Ravana himself. And this gap, this space between the myth and the hard data, is where things get really intense. This search for ancient history, like the ongoing debate about the Indus Valley civilization, isn't just for academics in ivory towers. Nope. It becomes this fierce, modern-day battleground over culture, over identity, and really over who gets to write the official story of the past. On one side of this debate, you have people calling for pure objective science. Like this one Reddit user put it, just give us the truth, the accurate research, let the data speak for itself. Who cares about the regional politics? It's a call for history to be totally objective. But then you have the other side. An opposing comment basically says, whoa, hold on a second. You can't just separate history from people's real lives. For a lot of people, history is deeply personal. It's about being seen, it's about fairness, and it's about justice for cultures that they feel have been pushed to the margins. For them, history isn't just a list of facts, it's a lived experience. All this intense debate over the past kind of makes you wonder, right? What if we just shifted our focus? Instead of trying to reclaim some perfect city from myth and legend, what if we tried to build one from the ground up, for the future? All right, let's jump from the ancient past into the not-so-distant future. This is the modern dream, using technology, data, and just massive amounts of resources to construct the perfect civilization from scratch. Welcome to the age of the smart city. So, what even is a smart city? Well, at its core, it's a city that uses technology, sensors, data, networks, all that jazz, to run itself more efficiently. Think of Amsterdam using data to manage traffic in real time, or Barcelona using sensors to save water in its parks. It's this global movement to try and make city life better through tech. But when you talk about ambition, no project is more ambitious, more like something out of science fiction than NEOM. This is Saudi Arabia's massive bet on the future, an attempt to build not just a smart city, but an entirely new way for humans to live, right out in the middle of the desert. And the price tag, it definitely reflects that ambition. The estimated cost for this project is a mind-blowing $500 billion. This isn't just some urban renewal project. This is an attempt to literally build a new future, funded on a scale that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. Now, what's really wild is the centerpiece of NEOM, a project they're calling The Line. The vision for this thing is just breathtaking. A single city, 170 kilometers long, with no cars, no streets, and 0 carbon emissions. It's supposed to house 9 million people, all powered by renewable energy and run by AI. It literally sounds like something straight out of a movie. But this is where that incredible dream crashes into the hard wall of reality. The original promise? A city 170 kilometers long. The current plan? It's been scaled way back to just a 2.4-kilometer section. The vision was to house 9 million people. So far, the population is 0. And that completion date, which was once talked about as being just around the corner, is now maybe 2045. It's a huge reminder of just how incredibly difficult it is to engineer perfection on this kind of massive scale. So we've seen the struggle to find a perfect city in the past, and the struggle to build one for the future. So what if the perfect city isn't meant to be found or built at all? What if its real power is that it's just a myth? And that brings us to a third kind of perfect city, one that exists only as an idea. In Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Shambhala is this legendary spiritual kingdom. It's not a historical place you can go dig up or some futuristic city you can build. It's a prophecy, a perfect hidden realm that will one day appear and kick off a new golden age for all of humanity. And that's what makes Shambhala so different. It exists beyond all the problems we've seen so far. It doesn't need any archaeological proof like Ravana's Lanka, and it can't be screwed up by construction delays like Neom. Its perfection is guaranteed because it exists as a pure ideal, a powerful, lasting dream. So, after all that, where does this leave us? We've looked at 3 really different ways we chase this dream: by digging for it, by building it, and by believing in it. It seems like whether we're looking to the past, the future, or just to a myth, this urge to imagine a perfect world is just a fundamental part of who we are. So why do these quests have such a powerful hold on us? Well, let's just break it down. When we search the past, like with Ravana, we're trying to reclaim some lost glory, but we keep hitting that wall between myth and data. And when we dream of the future with projects like Neom, we're trying to engineer a brand new utopia, but we face that huge gap between the vision and the reality. 2 different paths, 2 massive challenges. But, in the end, maybe all of these quests, whether they lead us to an archaeological dig, a massive construction site, or a spiritual text, are really just mirrors. They reflect our own time. They show us what we value, what we're afraid of, and what we're hoping for in our own world, right here and right now. The story of a perfect city is never really about that city. It's always about us. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Is the perfect city a real, tangible place that we can one day find or build? Or is its real power in the story itself, a perfect, untouchable dream that inspires us to make our own world just a little bit better?